What to do if you failed your real estate exam. So you've been working hard at the process of obtaining your real estate salesperson license, but you took the exam and you failed it. What do you do now? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 things that you can and should to some extent or another do if you failed your real estate exam. And by taking one, if not more, of these recommendations, you will be more prepared going into your next attempt where you retake and hopefully pass your real estate licensing exam. My name is Tyler Roicki. I help people build income and wealth in real estate, and I run an international real estate team at eXp Realty. If you get any value whatsoever out of this video, all I'd ask is that you like, comment, and subscribe so that I can continue to share more tips and resources with you in the time ahead. And with that in mind, let's dive into the video. So as I mentioned, over the course of the next few minutes, I'm going to share 4 things that you can do if you failed your last attempt at the real estate licensing exam. And the first thing that you're going to want to do, quite frankly, is to keep going no matter what. Here's the reality. Just because you failed the licensing exam, it doesn't mean that this isn't for you. The reality is being good at taking a test is a completely different skill set than what you need to succeed in the real estate business once you have your license in hand. For some people, studying and test taking is something they're good at, and for others, not so much. And while it's nice to be able to go in there and pass your exam the first attempt, reality is even if you have to go and retake it 1 time, 2 times, 5 times, or 10 times, it's worth persisting until you ultimately get that passing score and can move on with your real estate license in hand. I firmly believe that as long as you persist and do not give up, that it's not a matter of if you'll pass and get your real estate license, but only when. Will it be the next attempt, or will you have to keep going and persisting? And I'm telling you, the upside is so great that no matter what, you need to persist with this. Because if you truly see an opportunity for yourself in real estate with what you can do with this license in hand, it is going to be worth your while to do whatever it takes to get to the finish line and ultimately pass that licensing exam. Because once you pass that finish line of completing the real estate licensing process, that's when the real race begins. And that's where, hey, your test taking ability does not factor in one way or another. Everything that you need to know to succeed and prosper in the business is going to come as a result of what you learned from that point on, not what you learned in real estate pre-licensing school up to that point. What you learn in pre-licensing is there to keep you out of trouble, to keep you out of real estate jail effectively, and to assure that you at least have a compass in terms of what is and isn't right while you're handling the largest transaction financially for most people that they'll do in their lifetime when you're working with buyers and sellers. But as far as what you need to build a thriving real estate business, all that's going to come from what you learn after you get your real estate license, based on where you affiliate as far as a brokerage goes, and going out and applying what you learn in the classroom in real life as you go and pursue your goals in real estate from that point on. So bottom line is keep going no matter what. Do not give up. And that brings us to the second thing to do if you fail your real estate exam, which is to review your chapter summaries and take some practice quizzes. It's likely that your real estate pre-licensing course had end of chapter summaries with a lot of vocabulary and a review of the information that you covered in that portion of the course, as well as quizzes within the actual coursework. So what I would go back and do is I would go back and review all of those chapter summaries. Pay close attention to anything that you're not yet familiar with in terms of vocabulary, key concepts, just anything that's there, and go through the chapter quizzes again and quiz yourself on the information there. Make use of that and really aim to build up your knowledge base on the vocabulary and just things that you aren't quite yet familiar with, things that you haven't yet committed to memory. Knowing the vocabulary is going to be very key because you're going to have to know what different terms mean, especially when it comes up on your exam. And I'll give you a tool that you can use. There's something called Quizlets. If you Google it, you'll find it, but that's a study tool that you can use to essentially create your own flashcards and study material to help you get more familiar with any vocabulary that you're not quite up to speed with the meaning of. And that's something you can use to study and help commit more of the vocabulary to memory, as well as any other key concepts that come up in those end of chapter summaries as you review them. And something else that will come up, although not quite as frequently, is math. I know math can be a daunting thing for a lot of people. Reality is it accounts for a very small portion of all the questions on your actual real estate exam. But nonetheless, there are some key concepts that will help to know as far as the real estate math goes. And there's really not a whole lot there, and it's really not too complicated. That's the good news, but I get it. Math isn't my strong suit either. I had to drop some of my math classes along the way in schooling and college as well, but real estate math isn't that high level. Once you understand the concepts, it's pretty straightforward. And the good news is you really don't need to use a lot of math post-licensing. You need to know more of it to get your license. But what I did is I made a video specifically about real estate math. And that's something that you can watch as well to help you review the key concepts that you need to know for math to help familiarize you with how that actually works. So I would go in and watch that video if math is something that you need to brush up on, and that will help you prepare as well. So review the end of chapter summaries within your pre-licensing course, review the quizzes, take those practice quizzes again if you can, and also use Quizlets to help you study. And go and watch my real estate math video to help you brush up on that. And that will bring us to the third thing that you can do if you failed your real estate licensing exam, which is to take a real estate crash course. Get on Google and type in the search real estate crash course in your city. So insert your city real estate crash course in whatever city you're in and see what comes up. Find the nearest real estate exam prep / crash course that's available in your area. What you're looking for specifically is something along the lines of a 2-day crash course to help you prepare and ultimately pass your state's real estate licensing exam. So depending on where you're at, you may or may not find something that's nearby you, but I would definitely look to see what's out there, to see what you can find, if anything. And if you find a suitable option nearby you, that could be something that you enroll in to help you prepare over the course of a couple days, if that's what it is, to pass your real estate exam. And if you're really struggling to pass it, this is probably the most effective and efficient way you can go about it, because you're knocking out a ton of material over that 2-day period. You're not having to draw out the process very long on studying more and more and more. You're really knocking out the key concepts and what you need within a couple-day time period. So that can be the quickest and most effective way to go about it if you want to get back to the testing center and knock it out sooner rather than later. And that brings us to the fourth thing that you can do if you failed your real estate licensing exam, which is to use Prep Agent. And Prep Agent is another place that you can go that has more resources to help you prepare for your real estate test. And this can be an alternative to what I previously mentioned, which was finding a local real estate crash course, because Prep Agent has something in the way of a crash course as well, but they also have a lot of different resources and things that they do to help the people who are enrolled in that prepare for their licensing exam. And they have state-specific options on there. In fact, they're going to ask you what state you're in to ensure that you get the correct studying material based on where you're at. And while I have no affiliation with Prep Agent myself, I have heard a lot of positive things about it and know that they have helped a lot of people get to a point where they could pass their real estate licensing exam. And so I do have a promo that I will pass along to you. I'll include that in the description below if you decide to use them. And while Prep Agent, as well as any real estate crash course provider out there, is going to have some sort of cost associated with it, when you look at whatever the cost of that is versus the cost to keep retaking the exam over and over again, as well as your time, energy, and effort that you're going to have to put in to keep on trying, at some point very quickly, it makes sense to make the investment, to have the tools and resources you need to truly prepare and have exactly what you need to know in order to pass that exam. Because I mean, if you can pass the first time without any help, it makes sense to do that. But if you're on your second, third, fourth attempt, I'd say it's worth just making the investment and equipping yourself with more of what you need in order to pass. That way you can get it done and get started sooner rather than later and get to a spot where you can actually have that real estate license and go utilize it to go and produce some income for yourself. And there you have it. Those are the 4 things that you can do if you failed your real estate exam. And if you haven't done so already, you're going to want to make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe so that I can continue to share more tips and resources with you in the journey ahead, especially as you're planning and preparing to get started in the real estate business once you have your real estate license in hand. And by the way, as soon as you pass your real estate exam, there's a lot that I can do to help you from that point on in your journey. For instance, if you have any questions about the real estate industry, before you decide on which brokerage that you will be selecting by that point, go ahead and connect with me. I'm more than happy to help answer any questions you have. I can also help you compare your options as far as real estate brokerage goes. And if you're open to learning about the company I am affiliated with and what we do differently compared to anything else in our industry today, I'd be happy to get you more information on that as well, no matter where you're located. So again, go ahead and send me an email if that will be helpful once you pass your real estate licensing exam. So there you have it. I hope you found the video helpful. Go and take what you got out of it and apply it so that you can pass your real estate licensing exam and get started in this incredible business and begin building your income and life in real estate. With that being said, thank you so much for watching the video, and until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.